welcome to Awake TV. So today Sue and I are going to talk about what are you choosing. So lately, especially last 2-3 weeks, Sue and I are experiencing the same kind of stuff in different kind of flavors. And then since we are experiencing it, we feel like a lot of people are. So it's a good idea to talk about it. A lot of people, I was kind of thinking a lot of old stuff I dealt with started like creeping out, again while I'm being sick. So that was kind of like, wow,
So
I
you were sick. What did that look like? Just kind of share with everybody.
yeah, like I had a really great time April 30th, going to meet with my friends. One friends are leaving New York for good. So, we've been friends for 15 years. So we went to for gathering. So I had an amazing time, right? So after that, I should be feeling like wow, right? And I told you what happened after that, so
Yeah.
but next few days, all of a sudden, one, I got physically sick, which is very unusual for 1 week. And then I started to, that been happening like last 4 weeks, but I started hearing even more like a negative comment from my mom. Everything I do, I always screw up, that kind of like a repeating voice, which is like linked to my subconscious mind.
Okay, time
I
out. Were you hearing that in your mind or were you hearing that in reality? Because your mom's still alive. So
Well, I shut her up if she says negative in real life, in my head.
it was in your mind. So your
Yeah,
old programs were coming back. Yep.
yeah, which was gone after I did matrix energetics 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
So you
reason.
thought they were just really, really gone, right? And
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
surprises
I
you that all
haven't
of a
heard
sudden
it
they show
for
up.
I haven't heard it for a long time. Now I started hearing it, so I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, right?
Yeah.
And then I I don't know, I talked about this on this recording, but I broke up with my ex like about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, right? So I healed myself. I dated one really hot guy. So I'm over it, right? Now, like, suddenly started to feeling anger toward him, like the ex, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'm like, okay, this feeling is creeping up to me. Even though I'm the one who broke up, it doesn't matter because there's a lot of emotions and stuff happened. I wasn't really expressing,
Mhm.
not because I was Asian, whatever. That's not the point. I usually express like American girl, but sometimes it's not a good idea to express all the way. If you are in the relationship because you're not looking for war, right? So I wasn't having a burst of emotion or anything. I hardly do. But I started having like huge anger. And then I'm like, why am I still experiencing this? Because it doesn't make any sense. It's not anything particular stuff happened like last few days or whatever. And then I should be in peace because I was peace like a month ago, super high vibe, super like everything like, okay, change 5D stuff gonna be around the corner. And then you and I are super high vibe. Now like burn all suddenly like different timeline, doing Steve novel meditation of 5D self, and then I can feel the vibration. So I can feel me vibrating 5D, having everything I wanted in my life. That vibration is different from present timeline. I could feel it. So
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm working on myself every day. And then it's not like I say, oh, this is autopilot and I don't have to do anything. Daily, I'm working on myself, like
Daily.
clearing
Daily.
myself,
Yep.
going through the emotion when it comes up. So I was not confused because people are saying, oh, this is an eclipse thing or Mercury retrograde thing or maybe purging or whatever that is. So I kind of knew why it's happening, but I was sick and tired of it. And
Yeah.
then you are going through something similar, right?
Yep. So, a couple years ago, an explosive situation happened in my family, and I don't want to get into too specific detail because I don't want I want to respect my family members' privacy. But um, suffice it to say, something really big was taken away from us, and my family member is fighting vigorously in court to get that back, and it's been extremely, exceedingly challenging and painful for all of us because, as you know, when you love somebody and you're watching them struggle, and then it also affects me because I've lost this too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really, really calls upon us as spiritual beings to reach for the best parts of ourselves and not grab on to anger, revenge, sadness, despair. Last year, I was in a place of despair for a period of time, and I just was kind of like, for a whole day, I almost didn't make it through the day. Let's
Mm-hmm.
put it that way. And then I decided, at the moment of truth, that I had visions of each one of my family members and how I couldn't just leave them. And so I pulled myself, out of that, but I know I had help. I know I had help. The angels, my family, my passed over ancestors were all there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a team effort, right?
Yeah.
But I made the decision that I wasn't going down like that, and I was going to proceed forward to my dreams. And I really shifted my whole focus to myself, my life, what my husband and I were creating, which is our move to Florida and a whole new reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the court thing came back up again recently, and I handled it much differently than I did last year, but yet in my energy field, there was still that. It was like the universe was saying, are you going back to what you were thinking and feeling before and wanting some sort of revenge? I really want justice. I'm not going to make any two bones about that. Justice needs to happen because this person in my life that this involves has done everything that they've been asked to do, has been in earnest, has been on the side of right the whole time. There's a lot of lies that went on and that were perpetuated and, so on and so forth. But he's been doing everything according to the letter of the law and spiritually and emotionally and physically honest. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a choice this last week, which was, am I going to go back into that old energy that I last year I almost allowed myself to be my undoing, or am I going to come into a point of acceptance and say, I understand these people that have done this thing are acting out of their pain, which really has nothing to do with me or
Mm-hmm.
my family member
Yeah.
and my other family members. It doesn't.
Yeah.
They're behaving badly because they're hurt and injured people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I went to the beach yesterday with my husband because I just needed to get the hell out of here. And I sat there, for the longest time, just staring at the water and taking in the nature and seeing things that I've never seen before and just going, okay, that's my choice. I choose this because this is what I wanted in my life, which is to be in this beautiful place where the weather's warm because I like warm weather and to see beauty, to have beauty all around me. This was my choice. I choose it again and I choose it again. So the point is, no matter how many times this other situation crops back up, because obviously it's still in my energy field, otherwise it wouldn't have been presented to me for
Mm-hmm.
consideration, right?
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many times the choice keeps being presented to you. If I say to myself, no, I'm sticking with my original choice, which is I'm coming to peace, unity, and harmony. I'm surrounding myself with beauty. I'm going to have joy in my life. I forgive those people. I
Yeah,
forgive them. And I even hope the best for them, because if they could somehow be healed, then all this crap is going to just go away anyway, right?
yeah,
But it would be for the best for the human beings that are involved in this if I stop being angry about it. I don't have room for that anymore. So really quick, I had a dream, and it was Christopher Reeve came to me this morning, and he looked at, now he's an older actor from my generation, and he's since passed away, but he was one of my favorites. He was like the original Superman. And I always had the utmost respect for Christopher Reeve, and I think that's why he came to me. And these gorgeous blue eyes, and he's standing there as tall and statuesque as he ever was. And I was surprised, and I said, "Oh, hi, Christopher."
mm,
Never had a meeting with him before, so I was really quite surprised. And he said hello, and he was looking at me directly in my eyes the whole time. But then what happened was he started talking about something, um, and I couldn't make out what it was. And that tells me in the dream that it's not important what he was saying, it was the energy of what was happening. So what continued to happen was I did hear the words, I wanted. And he kept talking. And as he kept talking, he spoke faster and faster, and he got angry. And he completely, his visage, his appearance completely devolved from that beautiful, statuesque, absolutely uh, light energy that he was, to almost, I mean, even his height went down, and he got hairy. He almost looked Neanderthal-like, and it just blew my mind. So when I woke up, I was like, "Well, what was that about?" And then I allowed myself to go into the energy of it. What was he telling me? And I told my
mhm,
husband about it, and as we talked about it some more, what I realized was that Christopher came to tell me that if you stay in the anger, we devolve. We go back to our primitive self, which is just wanting to fight back and get revenge. And it was quite ugly, actually. Not that he was hairy, but the fact that, that anger was starting to show outwardly in his outer appearance. And it was just like, ooh, no, I certainly don't want to do that. So it really solidified my decision. And I appreciate Christopher Reeve for coming in to show me that. Because it really solidified my decision that I'm going this way.
yeah,
I'm not going back, you know, never going back to that. And I would just suggest that no matter how many times these things that we think we've cleared crop back up into our reality, I would just suggest that we keep making the choice for ourselves, for our highest joy, for our highest timeline. Because if anything, these last 2 weeks have taught me, and I've been so tired. Oh my gosh. Rest, take care of myself. If I don't want to think about something, I don't think about it. I just rest. I go into being mode, where I sit out on my back porch and I watch birds and butterflies and flowers and whatever else comes along. And I'm just being. I'm not even really having thoughts about them. I'm just allowing it to play out in front of my visual field. And I feel so much peace. So, no matter how many times these issues crop up, folks, I think we're being asked by the universe, what are you choosing?
yeah. And then what we are saying is not to ignore whatever the feelings comes up to you, like either fear or anger or whatever, even little bit, right? We are not saying ignore and then, oh yeah, start thinking about happiness or start thinking about gratitude. We're not saying that. Deal with it when whatever the stuff creep up to you, and then feel through it, process it. That's what actually I have been saying. But what we are doing is integrating this energy within us. We by going through and processing it again and again and again. What we are doing is internalizing. We are neutralizing. So instead of removing it, we are taking it within us and then bring it to the 0 point, which is
Mhm.
neutrality.
Mhm.
So it no longer affect us. Like
Yeah.
I was watching tarot card reading the other day, conscious evolution journey, and then she was saying like, wow, the tarot card reading, you pick a card choice. I picked the one I felt strongest. So that one was saying like, oh, you get influenced by whatever this person, whatever, and then if you keep on hanging out with this person, you're gonna, because this person is like vibrating very low, selfish energy, and you're gonna become one, and then that kind of fear me, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna say what my situation is, but in life you can really cut people off, like if you are happen to be like in life together, like it could be family member, like a lot of times people are saying, oh, if you have a narcissistic mother or bipolar or borderline, whatever, the therapist saying you just cut that person off. And maybe some people they can do that, but I personally I like to have a huge distance, but for me, but I'm not gonna cut the person off, you know. It's like then we have to cut everybody off who is not in your vibration, and you end up being me and maybe just somebody else, or you being in the cave, right? And then when you cut everybody off, you're not gonna even go outside because you're gonna be afraid of vibrational influences or something. So
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna stop living, right?
yeah, so in last 2 weeks I kind of learned it's not about cutting people off, it's about being not affected by it whatsoever because you're completely neutral about it. And then
Yeah, and that's standing in your own power, isn't it?
yeah, and then
That's
what we are doing,
realizing that that person can't have an effect on you unless you let them.
yeah, so what we are doing is we're making a choice, you know. It's not that everybody can cut people off, like that not gonna be our choice. So I forgiven, after you go through forgiveness, still the emotion comes up to you, right? That's okay because you're human, maybe still in the vibrational field or whatever. But um, unless the person is extremely like toxic to your child or something, I mean,
Or
it's
if
not,
they're really toxic to you and you can cut them out of your life, then that's okay too.
yeah, I
But you
mean,
can't do it with everybody that has a lower energy that you're having because that's not really reasonable and continue living in society.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So my conclusion was okay, when whatever the trigger comes up to you, you go through the emotion, but you can't really cut everybody off in your life. So go through the life and make a decision to just same thing what you said. Going back to your neutrality, going back to your 0 point, going back to your high vibe space. Because part of the part of me kind of started to linking the point between my life and what's happening outside. A lot of stuff is happening outside, so I was thinking what if this has to do with it, and then I'm thinking because part of me still seeking for justice, right?
Mm.
And then I did forgive the person, but it seems like no justice is happening to this person. Like no justice from the universe, no justice from nothing. Like he's having the life, like you know.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. How do you know?
But yeah, yeah. It's not about how do you know. The point is that's how I feel.
You're saying you wanna see the justice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was thinking, okay, this is something to do with what's happening outside because I don't deny it. a lot of times people talk about karma, and then when you fuck up the other person's life, in a way, the other person gonna get karma. But when that is not happening, or seems to be not happening, part of me really wants the justice. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe 1 or 2% of me, even though I go through forgiveness, seeking for the justice, and that part of me is linking to what's happening outside.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
can
that's
see
how
the
it works.
duality, like, because we're creating our reality. So what's happening outside, maybe collectively too, but you and I are contributing some percentage, right? So my 1 2% of I want justice, because when I'm looking at Telegram and then reading it, I'm not emotionally triggered by it too, but I'm thinking, okay, the tone is still kind of the same. Means like
Yeah,
looking for the justice, right? So
yeah,
I'm thinking, okay, truth is coming out. I do understand why people want justice. I'm not saying like us go and be Buddha or something. I understand that. I was just thinking, okay, I see the correlation between how I'm feeling my personal life and what's happening to outside. As a
yeah.
creator, I found the connection. So
That's
I'm thinking,
awesome.
oh, that's what it is. And I found it, so I felt good about it because, part of me is still mind-oriented person. So I'm like, okay, this is so logical.
No, but that's really good though, because if you don't know that you have an issue, how are you to address it? So, I mean, I think that's awesome because you see it and you go, "Oh, I made the connection." And if I there's still a part of me that wants justice, and I think that, that wanting justice is going to hurt us if we hang on to it too tightly. Um, I was very much in the same shoes. I don't first of all, I don't even listen to that stuff anymore. So like I'm not aware of what's going on outside. I mean, a whole state could have fallen into the ocean and I wouldn't know about it because I don't tap in at all. And I just do that because I really want that peace I was talking about earlier. And I'm
Mhm.
not criticizing anybody that does look into it, okay? I'm not. All
Yeah,
I'm
you.
saying is I don't even care about the justice for the mm, black hats, I think we have to call them. I can't use the C word. I don't even care about that anymore because I realized also today that when we switched, when we stay on this timeline or once we do make the full shift, we get over that hump and we're there, that all of that may not have even actually happened on that
Yeah, that's
timeline.
true. That's true.
So there's this really big part of me that's like, I've so given up on the idea of seeing justice for the bad guys and I'm looking for the justice for the good guys. I'm going, that's us. We're getting our justice, right? So that's even a big shift. So instead of looking for them to pay the piper, we're looking for us to reap our rewards, our just desserts, which we have been waiting for some time now, all our lives, as a matter of fact. And so we can flip that. That's
Yeah.
a choice. What are you choosing? Do you want to see that kind of justice, which looks like vengeance, or do you want to see the kind of justice for yourself that looks like 5D, bountiful, nobody's lacking anything, everybody's being cooperative, and we're building our each one of us, each soul on this planet gets to build their dreams and do it their way because we're now free. To me, that's the biggest justice of all.
Yeah, it is. And then you can still watch those Telegram thing. I do read it here and there. I don't get emotionally triggered by it, but part of me, maybe 5%, which is bigger than toward the other person I talked about. Certain doctor, I still have a feeling toward it. So I discovered kind of like I fucking hate him, you know, because you gotta have integrity when you do certain kind of profession. When you're being a lawyer or doctor, you're serving for people and you're bringing something good to humanity, which some people are not doing that, right? And that upset me. But I admit that I'm not like, forgiving all this stuff. But I said to myself, that's natural. I still have a part of me, 5% of me think like, maybe he already got the justice, but part of me, is pissed at this person. But I said to myself, it's okay, it's natural to have a feeling. I just have to process it. And then once you process enough, you don't really feel need to connect with, this
The
person.
information anymore. You don't need to know what the end result is because you've processed it enough to where you've gotten to 0 point. You're very neutral about it. And
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
isn't that why we all signed up to be here?
yeah.
This doctor in particular, me too. And 2 years ago, man, I'll tell you, I could have hunted him down with my rifle and not felt any bit of guilt about it. Do I feel that way anymore? No. Well, I've dealt with it. However, if it comes up again, as you said, you do your feelings about it because I mean, we didn't come to earth as souls incarnate to know what it feels like in the astral plane and all the other dimensions. We came to earth to experience earth and the whole range of it, right? So
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with what we're experiencing or when we do have anger or we do want, I mean, I had a lot of anger this week. I had a lot of little fantasies about things I would do to get back at these people because they've hurt us so deeply. No doubt, no doubt.
mhm,
And I allowed myself to have those feelings and I didn't get mad at myself because I had them. But truly the choice keeps being presented to me, which is what are you choosing? Are you going to stay in that or are you going to move past it and go continue creating this beautiful reality that I've come here to do? And for me, the choice is easy. It's like, and I feel free. And when I shifted my focus to, the beauty in nature, which is my way of doing it, that's how I shift from um, repetitive thoughts that are negative to me. I go into nature, I go for a walk, I do something active. Or I just sit in nature. So that's more passive, but I'm observant of it because that's how I find ways of healing. Whatever your way of healing is, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, if it happens to me again today where I have this thought and I feel anger, that just means I haven't finished getting it out of my energy system. Eventually, I will think about these folks and it won't affect me in any way, shape, or form. I will not be angry. I will not be resentful. I will not be seeking justice, for their bad deeds. Um, because I will have worked it all the way through. But we're
yeah,
here to be human. We're not here to be 9D Arcturians. Yes, they're guiding us, they're helping us, they're giving us suggestions, but we have to go through it
yeah.
because we chose it.
It's
We
not
chose
like
it.
we can shift from anger to forgiveness drop of the hat, right?
No,
when
I
it
haven't been
co-
able to.
when it comes to us, we accept, okay, I'm feeling angry toward it, so and so, fine. Don't get angry at yourself too, like, oh, why am I bringing this up or why am I triggered? That's not self-love. You accept, okay, feelings comes up for whatever the reason doesn't matter, but you feel through it, and each time you keep on doing it, it will get neutralized.
Yeah.
So be patient. And then after you neutralize a feeling, do something fun. So last 2 weeks, I decided to go myself with burn notice marathon because I love TV and stuff. So I did that. So it seems like we do have to go soon. And that's really important to choose whatever makes you feel high vibe and bring yourself back to high vibe again. It doesn't matter what, it's not a particular activity. So before you go, do you have any last tips for our audience?
Yeah, just what you said. We feel it when it comes up, acknowledge it and realize that we're in the driver's seat. We have the choice. What are you choosing? Are you going to stay in the old energy? Are you going to choose to move through it?
Yeah. And each time we get triggered, accept that, go through the emotion, and then make a positive choice, put yourself into positive environment. So you're shifting, and then be patient to yourself, because whatever the stuff happening outside do affect us collectively or whatever, big or small. So
Yeah.
it's not like we can put ourselves into totally different space and not to get affected by it whatsoever. We do get affected by whatever is happening outside. The
Hmm.
point is feel through it and neutralize it. So it doesn't matter what is happening outside, or
Yeah.
you get triggered by a particular person or something.
Hmm.
So next week, Sue and I are gonna bring more interesting topic, and we see you guys next time. Please share, like, subscribe. Thank you. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.